Alrighty, and welcome to This Week in Jump. I'm Turo,
And I'm Ryan.
and this week we're gonna go off of my list for this week.
hmm
This week had a lot of good chapters, and it was really hard to place them in different spots. There were obviously some ones that were just above and beyond for me, just because of the context and the content for where they are currently in their arcs, in their stories.
Interesting. I also felt somewhat similar. Some of them I felt didn't have a whole lot going on, but yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of one that didn't have very much going on, we're starting off at the bottom with Food Wars.
Yeah, I can see
We
that.
we have Saiba going against Megumi. Saiba, his main niche in this with the noir is that he takes the special what would you call them
Utensils?
cooking utensils, and he becomes a master at using these utensils right away. And he blows Megumi out of the water by turning really cheap meat into very flavorful meat that tastes like grade A5 meat.
Yeah, they make a point of saying that it's like aged meat. That
Yeah.
that it tasted like meat that had been aged for like almost a month or a couple weeks.
Yes, and doing that just with his skills, they didn't even give her an option. They didn't even give her space in this chapter to even show off her cooking. They showed a finished dish and that was it. It was very belittling to that character that we've had quite a bit of growth from in several chapters.
They blow her out of the water too quickly.
I don't know. I really didn't like that part. And Saiba is going to be very boisterous. He shows off that he is the best.
He's gonna give Arena's mother the dish that she could actually like because he can create dishes that nobody else has ever seen. That's like his whole shtick.
Yeah, being able to make near impossible changes to food to surprise whoever's eating it is quite a skill. And he goes off to say, no, if anyone thinks that they're better than me, like they should speak up. If not, like you should not even exist in my field of view. And of course, who's going to say something?
Couldn't be Soma.
Yeah, couldn't be the main protagonist.
No, couldn't.
But it is, and it's not even a picture of him. We just know him by his hand being raised and his headband wrapped around his arm, like always. It should have showed Soma off a little bit because we already know it's him. It's not like a reveal, but
Seeing him a little bit more cocky would have been nice.
yeah,
Like making an expression or something
yeah,
rather than just a hand.
yeah. It's not a surprise or anything like this. I was expecting a little more.
I guess if you wanted to be a surprise, you could have just had like a hand by itself and like not shown the wristband or sorry the headband that he always wears or his like his outfit.
Yeah,
You can see his outfit and the coloration. Either that or somebody who just happens to have the exact same style, which would be that would be a surprise.
that would be a surprise.
But probably won't be.
The other thing is, I think more people will raise their hand in the following chapter. I think Soma will raise his hand and state his case, and I think more people will raise their hands as well, saying that they disagree, and it might be, a cacophony of that from the top seat.
Well, I wonder how many people are actually still left in this tournament.
Yeah,
That all you got for that?
that's pretty much it.
That's all I got to say about that.
Alrighty. Next we have Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs.
Okay. I had a very similar ranking for mine.
Yeah.
The red string.
Yes, the red string book slash myth of this library, where apparently is a book that moves around the library. When someone reads it and opens it up, it makes everyone in a certain area
Wear micro bikinis.
wear micro bikinis. Males, females, doesn't matter. But it looks like it only affects living beings.
That'd be funny to see books with that.
Books, chairs. That would be funny. But this really felt more of a filler kind of chapter.
Detour.
There's no real progression in the story other than um,
Harumu, the sensei, the
yeah,
librarian.
the librarian. What is it? Harumu.
Harumu.
Harumu getting a little bit more comfortable in using her abilities even after the mishap that occurred
Chisaki.
with
Chisaki.
to Chisaki, which
She feels bad for it.
yeah,
Like up until like the
which
very
she
end.
should, but still being able to manipulate other people when she notices before anyone else that someone had opened this book, and in the small bit of poof of fog, she's able to manipulate everyone in the area to think that their clothes are fine, but in fact, everyone right now in a crowded study session is just wearing micro bikinis. You do get a lot of fan service and a lot of very hilarious shots of dudes in
micro
micro
bikinis.
bikinis. That was really funny. But the payoff was not very grand. It wasn't anything very complicated. It kind of felt like a cop out.
Because she's comfortable
quick,
using her power.
yes, a quick answer like, "Oh, I manipulated the book to
Oh,
to think.
okay.
I manipulated the book
To think
on
that
where
it's in a
going to be."
dream, so that way I could find it by going into my dream world and then spending all night looking for where the book would disappear to after it was shut. Because it only disappears after you shut it
Yeah.
to some random location. So
I thought that was very strange and not in the same realm as everything else that's been going on. But
it seems like a more mundane solution.
it's a solution, and happy for them. No one really got to see anyone else in a bikini other than her,
Yeah.
other than the librarian. So there's no real shame from anyone else. So it's her little secret, and she's not gonna tell anyone. No one saw her that way, so there's nothing to be shy about.
Yeah, and all of this was pretty much spurred on by Yaya and Shion.
Yeah, and even so, they hardly contributed to anything this chapter.
Yeah, they were just tag-alongs.
Yeah,
They're just
they
there.
were to explain. Oh, the cat bird is telling me that everyone's wearing micro
Mhm.
bikinis. Like, doesn't look like that to me. Like, well, it's probably the sensei tricking us into thinking that way. Like, they were just there for exposition.
Yes.
But it was funny enough to put that slightly higher, not the bottom. Okay. Next, we have one of the newer series, The Last Sayuki.
Okay.
I was not very fond of this series for the first two chapters, but I think that was because I had too many unknowns, so I didn't
Give it a shot, I guess.
really give it a shot. But now I'm getting that. I'm getting the exposition, I'm getting backstories, I'm getting a little bit of how this world works.
Uh huh.
And I can appreciate that a lot, and that's why it's not the very bottom. I'm still a little skeptical on how this will progress, but this chapter added a lot that might change that in the near future.
I feel like the flashback gave actual credence and meaning to why he felt bad for Koharu when she was apologizing for something that wasn't her fault. It was because his mother did the exact same thing for not being able to see him swing and get home runs.
Him immediately going after this this demon and just taking it out with a single swing. Does not care, and he has a extending pole, which extends with his kind of spiritual power that apparently anyone can learn to control, and anyone can learn how to use it. In
The
which,
Moo.
yes, the Mu. In which case, this pole can be cut, and a piece of it can be given to someone to use it as their own weapon.
Yes.
And then it takes on the exact same properties. It can extend, it can be chopped off, and it can give it to another person, building a army of sorts, but an army against demons, which is very much needed and at a certain time. But that was because demons were taking over the world.
The depiction of the giant demon getting its head blown off was cool.
Yes, I did like that one. And there are a lot of giants, demons, uh, snakes, oni, a lot of that in the folklore. So
yeah, they introduced that whole idea that there was, during the 7th century in China, it was overrun by monsters because somebody had a similar power. And what do they call him? K, the Demon King of Chaos.
I don't know. I like that name, the Demon King of Chaos. Okay. So we're getting a little bit of the world, a little bit of the importance of Haru. But then we get a villain, these demons, but also of an organization that had kidnapped someone with a similar power, and how they used it to fill the world with demons. Cut to two very cult-like looking people and a small child. This child then proceeds to manifest the fears, manifest the Mu into
one big demon.
One big demon. It's grotesque, and it's literally killing these what look like children, and it's terrifying. It's a great shot, but it's terrifying. Yeah, and then after that fact, he, to I guess train himself, maybe he defeats the demon that he created. Maybe it went after him and wasn't being obedient. But this is just a somewhat normal person, and this is someone who wants K essentially back.
Yeah, because they're basically, I guess, thinking that Koharu is going to be the next K.
Yeah.
Because this character's name is Sai, the small boy.
And
it ends with the tale of Sai and K. I don't know if there's a relationship between him and the 7th generation, or sorry, the 7th century K, the Chaos Lord, or if they're... Because it's clear that he's part of that organization that is remnants of that. And that's what the people in the cult outfits are. So there would be, I guess, something to tie into that and explain that, I guess, in further chapters. Giving this series a little bit more legs to stand on than just...
take care of her.
Yeah.
I honestly thought this was going to be a little bit more of a slice of life. Not at school, but just... oh, let me take care of you. Oh, you're trying to do this? Let me help you with this. And do very small, everyday tasks with, someone who can't do that. And then the demon showed up, and then, like, that kind of got thrown out the window.
Needed some spice.
It's definitely going a little bit more of the battle manga kind of direction. Alrighty. Next, we have Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Still no context?
No context. We have some really cool artwork. We have some really cool attacks. But I really have no context for what it goes for. I really put this further up the list just because there were some things I could understand. There were a little bit of instincts at play here. There were reaction times that are just absurd from the non-demons. Because you have Gyu, where he's able to do an attack, but it's simultaneous. He's also getting hit in the same instance. with the kind of fortitude and the kind of healing demons have, every time he clashes and there's a simultaneous hit, he's losing.
Yes.
So there needs to be a change there, and that's when
Tanjiro.
Tanjiro has kind of like a flashback with the a boar-headed
Inosuke.
a boar-headed sensei or teacher, I believe.
No, they're the same age.
Oh,
they're about
really?
the same age. Yeah, Inosuke
Okay.
is the same age. Under there, he basically looks like a really pretty boy. He almost looks like a girl. A lot of people mistake his face for a girl's.
Oh,
But he's buff, so like if you see his chest, you're like, wait, what?
okay.
But no, Inosuke, they're the same age.
Okay, but you see him kind of telling him, "Oh, he's literally turned around, but oh, you're looking at my right shoulder." Like, oh, you can actually feel those piercing eyes
Yeah.
when someone is so focused on something. You can tell what they're looking at. A lot of mothers have this, and a lot of fathers as well, where they're like, "Put that down." Like, you're not even in the same room. How do you know I'm holding something? Like, I just know. Put it down. And he's able to use this in battle, kind of coercing him. Like, he's going to strike me where I'm open, so I'm going to leave myself open, because that makes him predictable. So then, in that case, I'm going to use that predictability to my advantage.
Yes, to launch a counterattack. I thought the choreography and the artwork was great for this chapter.
The combo attacks are...
Giyu manifesting his mark was cool. That's something that they've been trying to do and replicate.
Really?
Yes, because like you have to do a lot of training, and Tanjiro was able to do it, so he's able to bring out the mark as well. So that's what they're trying to manifest, like because his birthmark on his head is different than his like mark that he can make manifest.
Oh.
Where it's almost like this world's version of like powering up.
Okay.
You could think of that like to make the fight more fair between the humans and the upper moons. So that's why Giyu doing it. I don't think he's ever done it prior, so that's why it was like, oh.
Okay. Maybe I should have put it a little bit higher.
You didn't know context. It's okay.
Alrighty. Next, we have We Never Learned.
It was a good one. This one is just Sekijo showing them around.
This one really didn't have any sustenance other than it was just funny. Like from the get go, we have I'm working on a lot of projects. This one is super crazy. Ta-da! It's an adhesive that lasts for 15 hours. Okay.
I don't understand what that could possibly be used for, like for practical applications. I guess there's some things you'd want temporarily stuck together.
For a very long period of time, I can see a lot of school festivals. I can see pop-up stands that are only going to be there for a single day. It's like, okay, I'm starting at 9 or 10 a.m. and it's going to end at close to midnight. Like, that day is done. I don't need these posters. I don't need this table to stand up anymore. I just need it for today, and that's it.
Okay. Would you need an adhesive for that instead of just using tape?
Yeah, because tape might wear off with some heat, wear off with some weather. She got into the full shower and she wasn't able to get rid of the solution, the adhesive.
That's fair.
Like, it's meant to be sturdy, but just last long enough for the 15 hours. I can see some actual practical applications for this, but they just end up getting their hands stuck together.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, well, I guess we have to stay together for 15 hours.
Yeah, Naruyuki. Get your hand stuck with Sekijo.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Rizu can't pull them apart.
Yeah, and she's, seeing that their hands are touching, so she puts her hand there as well. But there's not enough adhesive, so she's not going to get stuck there.
No.
But some more solution gets thrown about, and
Never liquid.
yeah, it's just makes things slippery, slimy.
Slippery and or slimy. I was like, that's great.
Yeah, so she's, just going to go wash it off, but she ends up taking off all of her clothes and I'm already here, might as well just take a shower. And Naruyuki is immediately attacked from one side from a naked lady being in front of him, and behind him he has
Rizu pushing into him with her chest.
Yeah. Like, oh,
something soft is pushing into my back. And then they all go to her house, to Sekijo's.
Yeah, but that another reason why it's just comedy after comedy on this one. It's like, oh, why do you guys look so tired and like frazzled? It's like because they have to clean up her room because she has
a shrine,
an obsession to what is her name? Rizu. And
I wonder where she got the plushies.
She made them. More often than not, when people are this obsessed, they want to make it themselves.
And then it's just underneath a sheet.
Yeah.
Just right behind her the entire time. Doesn't that look peculiar? She's oblivious to everything, so that's just what makes it even better.
They're studying. Like, why not? And I thought they didn't study anymore. It's like they still study. They still study.
But Naruyuki can't write with his left hand.
Yeah. But then, they have to get ready for bed. So, they lay down, they have a respectful distance between each other. And Ryuzu
closes the distance.
Yeah. She moves in her sleep. Mm-hmm. Air quotes.
Can't see that, air quotes.
And gets right on top of Naruyuki, presses herself up against him in a very cute manner, and moves her hand into his to kind of clutch, to kind of hold hands while she sleeps. Naruyuki can't sleep. He's literally holding hands with two girls, one of which he's very attached to. But 15 hours is up, so it just comes right off. And, some things we do for the kindness of our hearts, kindness for our friends, and others we do it for ourselves, and jealousy can lead us there sometimes.
Well, he was gonna ask her, and then he chickens out.
Yeah.
As they were walking away from Sekijo's house.
It's not that important of a question. It happened, and that's it. Leave it at that.
What do you got?
Alrighty. We have, I believe, the end of an arc. We have Neolation.
Okay.
We have the finishing race with Boogie and Brother Ta. Boogie takes it very respectfully. He knows he lost, and he will keep it as that. That there will no longer be any betting for the races done here.
Mm-hmm.
So one of his underlings, trying to be the middleman of, okay, Boogie's no longer going to be the broker for these races. I'll take over. I was like, let me take care of this. This will quell their rage because some people still really want to make money off of this. I'll take care of this.
Mm-hmm.
Boogie, no.
Boogie shakes his hand like he's gonna pass the torch, and just brings him to his knees.
Yeah,
and he's a much more muscular, bulky guy.
Yeah, he nearly breaks his hand. He has him on the floor, riddled with pain. Like, no, I said, no betting is allowed here. That was what we agreed upon. No one is taking over. Like, okay then. We'll still race, but no one's gonna bet on anything.
Somebody's still a beast.
Yeah. And Boogie, he doesn't for some strange reason, he doesn't need money. He really is a monster. The thrill
Take
is
the money and shut up.
the thrill is in seeing people weak, seeing people lose their money and feeling powerless. The money doesn't. He doesn't really care about that. So he
No.
literally just throws a bag of money into everyone who's there, and even
Neo.
Neo picks up a couple bills, and some of his cohorts do as well. And we get a little bit of the explanation in the manga about the beast, the
The symbol, at least, and
The-
where it originates from.
yes. Of course, you could look this up online, but having it in the manga itself is actually very nice, because it's
I didn't actually fact check it to see if it was actually a thing that Givaudan was a beast from the 18th century in France.
yeah.
It was speculated to be like a bear or a wolf, whereas Boogie thinks that it's strictly a actual human being who went around and killed 100 people.
Yes, so it is actually a thing in France.
Okay, confirmed.
So, but it's nice to have it in the manga itself. You shouldn't have to go to an outside source to get something explained in your manga. You should explain it yourself. And when you can dictate what pictures are associated with that, I love the picture
That's a cool picture.
of this unique looking beast destroying people, but also I love the picture below that with a human just looking at all of his prey, all of these other humans with just fangs bared on this person's back, just waiting for their chance to pounce on someone.
Yeah, because he looks like an inconspicuous businessman.
Yeah. Which Givaudan himself does not look like that. He is very profound. He is very out there. You could point him out in a
He stands out in the crowd.
In a police lineup. You could, like, him right there, the crazy looking one with the giant hat.
But Neo wanted more information.
Yeah,
Couldn't
but-
get it.
No, because that's not what they agreed on. And he tries to
Bribe him
Bribe
with
him.
the money he got from him.
Yeah. Which I think really still shows, like, Neo is still, like, kid. He's still a teenager. He's like, oh, sure, like, this is a decent amount of money. Here you go. Like, he didn't care about the money.
He gave it away to begin with.
There were still some things that Neo didn't grasp about the personality of Boogie, and I really like that. Brother Ta, man, never have I cared about a side character so much in their progression in just a couple of chapters. I want him to
Be a main character.
to be more involved in this series, and I want him to find, true love.
Oh, and the sister, Daigo's sister.
Yeah, and Daigo's sister.
That would be nice.
Because it looks like it's very pure, at least on his side, but who knows about her? She's nice to everyone.
True. But he does give them a nice lecture on stopping their bad habits because he wants to be truly cool.
Yeah.
The flashbacks with them all at the temple. I can't not like them.
Yeah. Like, this is, fairly newer series, but it still having flashbacks here still feels right. Still feels right for these kinds of characters that, they're still building. Also, Brother Todd just having monk robes and having, like, a very Playboy-esque hat and shades is just hilarious. I just really like him.
The modern monk.
Neo, at least when he's calculating, he doesn't need much to make him look cool. What he's doing and how he's doing it, how he explains it, is cool.
Yeah, Boogie even praises him with how fast he was able to hack things. And then Daigo remembers that he doesn't even know anything about Neo personally.
No, he just knows he was a guy at a diner who helped him out once. And
Yeah.
then, like, oh, you're in service to me now. Like, thanks. Like, I'll help you out because I kind of owe you one or
Yes.
two or three. But hope we might get some more flashback onto why Neo has his laptop, why he got into hacking and going after criminals.
See, my speculation with that last page about the flashback of when he gets from the laptop from the little girl is her eyes aren't there. So I almost think either he, number one, can't remember who that is, or she has passed away.
I could see that. I could see that.
So that's, I guess, it for part one. Huh?
We'll continue this in the next part.